Hello everybody and welcome to qualifying for the FIA Formula 3 Championship here at Spa-Francorchamps. We're almost ready to go and Omi's alongside me in the commentary box as well. Omi, we've been waiting all day. Formula 3 been very disrupted, but at least we're going to get cracking.
Yep, we're going to get a qualifying at a time where we usually don't see any Formula 3 sessions happen. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit different as well. So looking forward to this one that is coming our way.
Yeah, it's going to get underway. 30 minutes of action for qualifying. Mari Boya was fastest this morning. Well, this afternoon, I should say. What could he do? Here it comes. Enjoy. It's qualifying time for the Belgium Grand Prix, the 8th round of the FIA Formula 3 Championship in 2025. JT's down in the pits and myself and Naomi are up in the commentary box as we finally wrap today up. Here it is. It's qualifying. Wakey, wakey, it's time to get going. We're not over yet. This is the final session of Friday. It is 7:10 here in Belgium, and it is time for FIA Formula 3 and qualifying for round 8 of the championship. Spa-Francorchamps is legendary. It's over 7 kilometers in length. That's 4.352 miles, 19 turns and 2 DRS zones. By the action zones that will ride us around this fantastic circuit. And in terms as well of how the course is, just one tyre compound at the median. The pole time is a 2:04.321, set by Callum Vosin last year as well. Top speed over 303 kilometers an hour. That's at this circuit in a Formula 3 car, where downforce levels are low, but brake wear, tyre usage and fuel consumption are at an all-time high. Alongside me in the commentary box as we get ready for the green flag to go on. Finally, Omi, we're going to get this one green, and we have had to wait a very, very long time. But better conditions as the green light goes on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be good for what is going to be a 30-minute session.
Yep, 2 McLaren drivers on pole so far today. Let's see whether we can get 3 out of 3. It is over 2. The 3 McLaren juniors in the field, especially Ugo Gachukwu, who is looking quick lately in this championship as well, as the queue begins and the field starts to make their way out onto this Spa circuit, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it is all going to play out. What a weekend it has been. Definitely not like normal for these drivers, but sometimes I'm sure they're used to it from their early junior careers. You just get these type of days, but everything gets shifted to what you originally had planned.
Yeah, we practiced at the qualifying time. We're now qualifying after the Porsche Super Cups have finished up their session around about 20 minutes ago. And we are now all set then with a beautiful fading sun. I suppose that means quite good that we come here this time of the year, because it's one of the longest days we have at Spa, so it's all good.
Yeah, it is always an incredible circuit. It provides a lot of action when it comes to the FIA Formula 3 Championship in specific, and it means that things can get quite unpredictable, which our championship leader Rafa Kamara will be hoping that it is not the case as well. He wants a normal trip to victory once again as he tries to wrap up this championship, but there are no foregone conclusions in Formula 3. Let's talk to Kamara about that now.
everything can happen, and maybe we have only one lap on dry, no? So I think every lap you do, you make sure it's a clean one, and yeah, also with the team, we make sure we prepare every scenario, but as we all know, once you are there, everything can happen, and you need to change by yourself during when you're alone.
Yeah, and I think that's a good example about how much this circuit is sort of up and down, isn't it? They've got to push hard early on because, as we saw in the sprint qualifying, that happened a few moments ago in Formula One, well, about an hour and a half ago now. 2 hours even. There's nothing that goes on. It's such a low qualifying where, because it's a 7-kilometre track, it's hard for the drivers to A, get room, B, refuel, and C, they make one mistake, it could cost them the entire session.
Yeah, and that is what the drivers will be trying to avoid. There is so much to perfect around this circuit, meaning that the risk level of making a mistake is quite a lot higher as well. So for these drivers, the unfinished articles as well, it does mean that this is a very tricky session to try and manage. With already everything that's happened today that we've already discussed, it is difficult for the drivers, difficult for the team members, as well as they try and navigate their cars at times which you don't expect to run at all this season. It is something that they don't expect at all, but it's now running that they've got in this qualifying, so it's going to be fascinating to see how it's all going to play out. It definitely could throw a spanner into the works, I think, this qualifying session. It's going to be competitive, and the battling over track position, the teammates at campus, of course, together. Most teammates will be together across the circuit, but not always will be the way when they begin their lap time, because they usually like shuffling about these Formula 3 drivers as they all try to get the safety. But no one's playing the Formula 2 games that we saw earlier on just yet.
Absolutely, they're all just now doing their outbanker laps as well. Now, if you're joining us wondering where the NASCAR Cup Series practice is from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we are in a lightning delay, so everything's on hold there. They've finished the Xfinity Series session, and they will be moving to NASCAR. JT has the lightning clock and latest news, as we see a bit of argy-bargy down there at Ravage as well. But JT, what's the latest you can tell us on the NASCAR side? Nothing.
Nothing is what you can tell us at the moment, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, he's probably AFK at the moment. Right, Omi, it's starting to happen. We saw in F2 as well. A few people trying to get track position out there as well. But the track evolution, arguably, Formula 3 have never gone out there at a time when the track's better for their qualifying. End of the day stuff. Track's rubbered in nicely. It's good for what could be a wet Saturday and even wetter Sunday.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Both races, Sprint and Future, get run early in the morning. Let's hope there's no fog, because that would then create quite the drama, let's just say, if we turn up for the race and there's fog absolutely everywhere and we can't even get going. Especially on the Sunday, when you're going to have rain thrown into the mix as well, especially, with a high chance of that. It's probably not a good idea to be going in that direction. Terrapional will definitely think so, as he makes his way down to Blanchimont. Now, there was a bit of rain forecasted for this time in Spa, so luckily that's avoided us for the moment at least as well. But yeah, teams that have been monitoring it, it's all changed around, and now this is when they'll start beginning their push laps. They're coming across the line right now, so they're just finishing these banker laps, and then they'll go full push, get themselves a good piece of road. They're all bunching up down in the bus stop chicane as they give themselves the space, and then they can put their foot to the floor and navigate this 7-kilometer circuit to see what they've got on run 1.
Yep, down in towards the braking zone. Then you can see, look, 2:27s on their banker lap times. That's nowhere near what we're going to be having. Stenshaw is fastest. There's a little kick for there from TFR Now's back as well to come through. And down in towards Eau Rouge. You can see the clouds already starting to build here as well, ready for what we're expecting to be a bit of overnight rain. Grandstands, understandably, starting to a little bit dwindle, but that's the grandstands. Over on the banks, there's still people watching. There's still fans in attendance because, of course, so many people camp here. And we're into that section now on the back of the Camel Straight where we see the campsites.
Yeah, Spa, one of those great venues, and I mean, if you pay for a ticket, why not enjoy all of the action? end it with some Super Cup, and end it also with an extra Formula 3 qualifying session later on in the day as well, as Niall makes his way through and is currently on the attack in the Van Amersfoort car, the driver who was in contention when it came to our sprint race at Silverstone, and he is now about to throw it down into Pouhon corner. Big speed carried there for him, and then it's all about trying to keep it within track limits. We've seen drivers fall foul of that across this weekend so far, and then it's all about the attack in this third sector that you'll be entering, and then it's all going to be foot to the floor down through Blanchimont and heading down to the bus stop chicane, where picking your braking point is going to be vital, because you've done all of the hard work and then you can easily lose the lap if you don't get that final chicane right. And then all about standing on the power, and then it's seeing what you can manage. Ugo Gachukwu fastest when it comes to the first sector.
Breathing it up then as well. Maybe Hugo could take the pole position, making a McLaren 1, 2, 3 across the F1, 2 and 3 series for a sprint and feature pole. Let's see if Norris and Piastri can do that tomorrow. Now Diaz does a 2 minutes 6.670, but Stenshaw's gone faster. What can Hugo do with that middle sector? DFL now second, 206.466. You can see already as well moving up Gerard Z going into 11th, but it's all changing. Look at Freddie Slater already up there, Omi, into 4th place. Great job from him. He's moving on from what he had in Bahrain. But here comes Ugo Gachukwu over the line. Fastest in the first sector. Is he quicker? Yes, he is. 205.791. But immediately, Rafael Kamara, 205.557. goes fastest. A couple of lap times being deleted as well as Boyer goes second. 4 thousandths quicker than Ugo. And Tanasval and Pruvazak goes into 4th place.
Well, remarkable stuff. You have Formula 3 out there as usual, and then you have Kamara, who's already got himself into Formula 2 with the lap time that he's putting in his qualifying sessions. Okay, this was Niall going through the source and on the exit all over that curb as well. We saw Dennis Hauger in Formula 2 in the start of the sprint race a few years ago, basically got stuck on the curb momentarily and got rolled along with it. That is something when there's so many cars heading down into turn 1 that you could get, but even in a qualifying session where you're trying to stand on the power and extract it all, because I mean it's an important exit because it leads you all the way down into Rouge and Radion and then down the Kemmel Straight.
Nicely done as well from Boyer, who is second fastest now, 2 tenths off the pace, but it's Rafael Kamara for Trident on top. Boyer, Ugachu into Pruvazak. Tuka Tappinen has made up for a bad morning this afternoon I should say, when he stopped actually the same as Lewis Hamilton. Exit the last corner. He's in 4th position. By the way, Hamilton will receive no penalty for that stoppage in the sprint session, so he starts further back down the field. Boyer, lap time deleted, so Ugo Gachukwu goes back up into 2nd place.
Yep, back to 2nd place for the American driver, but he'll want to go for pole position, and he will try and discuss with his Prema team, who are experts, about trying to find the time and trying to find everything they can to get their drivers higher up. It's not been the Formula 3 season that they would have wanted, but they're doing well. We mentioned Slater was 4th originally after the first sets of laps have been completed. It is P9. We mentioned Pouhon corner, catching drivers out, and there we go with Boyer, all 4 tyres off the white line there, and it means that his lap time is gone, unfortunately. But Slater ending up in P9, which is a great position, and right now Brandon Badoa, to be fair, on reverse grid pole as it stands, but it's all still yet to change.
To be honest with you, Omi, I'm 100% on that now. I think it's marginal, isn't it, at some parts of the circuit, but if you're going to penalise one driver, you penalise them all, and you do it across the series, because I think we all thought it was a bit harsh, didn't we, on, was it Piastri lost at that time in the first part of the sprint qualifying? You know, Rafael Kamara, 205.557, he's fastest at the moment. Ugachu is still in P2 as they take the Source hairpin and head down towards Eau Rouge and up to Radion. Listen to it singing. Well,
it is the tunes of the cars as they make their way through, and then of course it gets louder through F2, F3, and you get to the Porsche to become the loudest thing on as well, which is always great for the fans to enjoy. Stenshorn continues his push through the first sector right now is Martinius Stenchel, and of course he's a driver still trying to get a lap time on the board, but it's a 37.1. That is what he's set when it comes to that sector 1, and then it's all about the second sector where you can gain, where you can lose all of the time as you fight away with the Dallara built Formula 3 car, and then it's all about seeing what you can do in the second sector. You're about to get the time in a couple of meters, and it is going to be one that is 6/10 of the pace to pole man currently, Rafa Kamara.
Yeah, it's not too bad as well, because you get a lot of time in this last sector with cars ahead of you with the DRS along the start-finish straight as well. It gives you just a couple of meters of extra pull when it's critical. As you come down to the braking zone for the bus stop, this is Stenchel then, and his lap time deleted by the stewards in the high-tech. We're coming to the last couple of corners now. I wish they'd changed the settings in the FPS on this drone camera. Looks like everything's in standing still. Over the line, and Stenchel goes third fastest, so he did get in the time back, but not too much. Taplin stays in 5th position. Roman Belinsky moves up into 4th place. Stunning time there, 2:05.971. So
nice.
It's getting quicker out there. This is what we like to see. I wonder if we're going to go faster than that pole time.
Could do. Here is Brandon Badoa. He's making his way through. Stromstead goes to P4 at the moment. Marin Angeli to 27th. Badoa gets a tow off his teammate momentarily, Leon, but stays in 14th position. Nicholas Solov pushing on. He's 3/10 away from Kamara at the moment. So let's see how his third sector will go. It's Lacorte currently 9th. Into Pruvazak now improves to the front row as we see more and more lap times coming. Wharton goes to 16th, maybe that's 17th, as Giusti goes to 3rd.
And Lacorte's had a lap time deleted. Tim Tramlitz goes up into 18th position as well. Kamara's back in the pit lane, so is Charlie Wirtz as Solov comes into the last corner now. A little bit of a rear sliding, pushes the throttle down over the line as Nolion gets his lap time gone, but Solov goes up into 5th on a 2:05.795.
Nice stuff there as well from Solov. It's all about being in the mix right now, even if you cannot get up to Kamara's pace. We've got 16 minutes and 10 seconds to go as the drivers conclude their first runs at the moment, but it is all still yet to play for. But if you are Noah Leon, all the way down in 30th position, no proper lap time on the board, you are majorly screwed. You had a few attempts at it, and those few attempts did not lead to anything because that is not even registered as P30. He's not got a proper lap time. It's only from the out laps that he was doing that has been recorded in. So that's a complete disaster for Noah Leon.
Yeah, you have to be inside 107% of ruling in order to race across any of the top 3 series in Formula 1. So that 107% rule means that you have to be inside 7 seconds of the pole time, and he's 23 seconds back as well. It was introduced in the late 90s for Formula 1. They got reintroduced in 2011 for Formula 1, and HRT were the first victims of it. They didn't get to participate in the 2011 Australian Grand Prix. They were outside the 107% rule, and it's stayed ever since.
Yeah, most Formula 2 drivers can sometimes get away with it. We're just asking FIA for permission, but it's extra hassle that no one wants to go through, in all honesty. But yeah, still a driver. If they haven't shown the FIA enough, Leon probably would be able to. But if there was a new driver who came in who wasn't able to be a contender immediately, then yeah, they probably would not be allowed. I think it is fair to say. So a great rule and an interesting rule to have as well when it comes into the mix, as GST comes into the pit lane as well, as do a lot of the drivers. Some will be focusing on now getting ready for their second run in this qualifying session. And yeah, let's see how this second run is going to go, because the first run, it's been Kamara on top, but then it's been all action further back from second all the way down to the back.
Says something about it, doesn't it, when the likes of Raghunathan were able to race and they were just inside the 107% rule. Kind of makes it a bit comical, doesn't it? Okay, so drivers are in the pit lane. Let's check in with our World Feed colleagues and see what's going on.
Here last year in 8th. Belinsky 9th, and he has experience around this circuit in other categories. Slater, we saw him in the top 12 when he made his debut at Bahrain. He'd be up there again. Goya would be on the front row you talk about how close it is, Piers, Verts down to Wharton, any one of those could get in the top 12.
And, as you mentioned, that's a very important section of the grid as well,
Yes.
because if you qualify 13th, you're going to start 13th for both races. You qualify 12th, you're starting 12th and first.
Yeah, it's unlucky number 13 exaggerated in Formula 3, isn't
Quite
it?
literally. Quite literally.
Well, a chance to take a breather.
We're in the eye of the storm of qualifying now, aren't we? We've had the first rush.
Yeah.
Now we're just in the calm before the second half, as I think this part will be all as chaotic, as close, as action-packed as the first part, if not more. There's our pole sitter from last year, Callum Boyson. Again, a reminder, last year in the FIA Formula 3 Championship, different car. We've had an upgrade to the car this year, so drivers will know what it feels like to drive a fast lap in a Formula 3 car, and the pace is comparable, but the difference is that being able to extract it from this specific machinery is going to be, the setups will be different. The way, the minutiae of how you apply the brake and release the brake into a corner, use the steering, carry the speed when you pick up the power, how you apply it, the details are what gain you the final few tenths, the difference between, let's say, a Tramnitz in 18th place and a Kamara in first of 9 tenths. That's the fine-tuning.
Nicola Corte, he's going along pretty well in 20th. Was challenging for that top 12, so place in that Dams Lucas oil car, no doubt about that, but a chance to take a breath. And for Noel Leon, he just needs to go and get a lap in here, really, doesn't he? He's actually had a black and white flag for track limits, so he's really going over.
Yeah, he has. Ramos coming through across the line now, Omi. And TFL now's got that fastest middle sectors. He's up to the line next. Ramos second.
Let's see. Well, let's see what he does. Ramos goes to second. Watch Niall, though. This definitely could be a lap that goes to the top. Currently P18, set P1.
TFL now onto pole position then for the Van Amersfoort Racing Squad. And they are now going to be right up there with first and third. Kamar in second position at the moment.
Nice. Tasty stuff there. Few drivers going a little bit different. Niall wouldn't mind some red flags or some chaos near the end of this session. And it was Badoa, fastest sector 1. Niall, sector 2. And Stenshorn has sector 3. So right now it is a split between 3 different drivers. And, well, I mean, none of them belong to Kamara, who's looked like the absolute star of this qualifying session till that moment, but he'll get a chance to respond, and he'll absolutely have that opportunity as well, and he could be getting that soon, because we are plunging back into the fast lane and getting this Formula 3 qualifying session back underway for most of those drivers. With their second runs, it's a full push all the way till the end. They'll be trying to generate the heat to the tyres. We'll go through the same cycle that we did, and then it is not your banker run, it is the important runs. It is a run that decides your grid spot for both races this weekend. We'll of course reverse the top 12 for the sprint and then start how they qualify for the feature on Grand Prix Sunday.
Backing up or keeping on their traffic lines at the moment, and I think we need to install a ticket like at the meat counter. Look at this down the Camel Straight. They are side by side. This is unbelievable.
Like a race, like a motor race at this stage, as we go 2 wide, 3 wide. Depends how brave they're all getting down there as well. Formula 3 at Monza, I mean, that is usually quite chaotic with their qualifyings. They last year even had to split the qualifying at Monza just to avoid all of the drama, which, we split qualifyings in Monaco. Monza's not the circuit where you would really need it, but due to the slipstreaming, it sometimes can be. So I wonder whether they go the same route once again. But I don't know whether that would be the solution, because last year we actually had contact with only half the field. So
yeah,
50 drivers, and we had contact still. So I don't know whether that could still be described as the solution, considering we actually got contact with just half the field there.
Oh, it's getting messy now, isn't it? With, I think, like 22 drivers in a line here. They haven't yet pushed it, and they're not going to push it. They're going to do exactly the same. The next lap will be their build lap. And then they'll go, look at that. Everyone down on an out lap, stuck together. Absolutely insane what we've got going on right now here at Spa-Francorchamps. But it's TFL now on pole position, so correct me if I'm wrong, Omi. Roman Belinsky on reverse grid pole or Tuka Tappan? I can't remember.
Roman Belinsky it would be
Roman Belinsky.
on reverse grid pole. I mean, what a story that would be. What a story that would be, considering his road accident that we tend to mention a few times as well on these broadcasts. But no, what a journey it was to get on this grid, even to get back in a Frecker car at the end of last year as well. And it would be remarkable if he is able to start on reverse grid pole at a circuit like Spa and be able to go out there and fight for the win, and if you can take the win, that would be extraordinary. But still a long way to go, still a long thing, still a lot to happen, and Slater just outside that top 12 right now in 13th. Now, if we go back to what we were discussing about him in round 2 earlier on this season, it was the sprint race where he was able to get himself in a good position for, and it was the sprint he was able to capitalize. Feature, unfortunately, he had a retirement due to technical issues, which weren't his fault. So we weren't able to see the feature race drive from him, so that's an unknown what he can do with that. But if he can get himself in contention for the sprint even, he's going to be a contender, considering he's won in the 2 series that he's already competed in around this circuit, GBP and Frecker. So he knows how to win around this circuit, and he's just done it at every opportunity so far.
Just looking about how tight this circuit actually gets in points, it makes overtaking even that bit more trickier. It's an old school circuit, of course. It's not the original that we had back in the 1950s, 60s. This circuit came back on the calendar in the 1980s. After extensive work was done. Just look at the valleys around the Ardennes Forest. It is one of the most picturesque and gorgeous circuits on the entire calendar. 110%. This is a race to come to.
Yeah, I think it will definitely be missed.
Yeah.
In the years where we don't have this place, it is just one of those iconic circuits. And, well, it's been an interesting few weeks as well. I know we've had to have a mini summer break in between, but Silverstone and Spa both together. Oh, we're definitely getting quite the circuit out there together, and possibly even 2 wet races in a row for Formula 1. Who knows? These drivers will be hoping that we don't have a red flag like they did at Silverstone, and we actually get to complete the sprint distance, because we only completed really half of the race, and then the other half was behind the safety car for these drivers, which we absolutely didn't agree with in the box with how they handled that.
It should have been a red flag, let the weather pass, then go back to green flag. They wasted all the time and wasted all the laps as well, and I think Race Control have learned from that a little bit going forward, as we know that they cancelled this morning's practice session and reorganised it because they knew they needed time. Yeah, still the top of Rouge Radion. Gets me how there's now a sausage curve there. It bumps the drivers. I don't like that. This is going to cause an accident at some point over the weekend. Just saw my boy collect it fully as he comes in. He's 2 tenths up though at the moment as he comes into the comms, but he's made a little bit of a mistake. Had to downshift to 3rd, holds it through, coming through Malmedine, down in towards Ravage. 4th gear, drop down into 2nd, hold the inside line. Did you have to downshift to 1st there? 2, down again, 3rd. Yeah, he had to downshift into 1st mid corner. Into Pouin. Don't go wide. He's kept it in this time, Omi. He's kept it in the white lines.
Yep, we were listening to see how much he would go for it through Pouin. He's gone for it, and he's kept it within the white lines. Critical for your lap time as he tries to get a lap time on the board, which can contend near the front of the field. He'll be hoping to get right to the front of the field. That'll be the aim for the Campos driver, and he's up by 0.6 of a second. Same applies to Solov, so the 2 Campos drivers both going for it. One backed by Aston Martin, one backed by Red Bull.
I wonder if this might be their last lap time as well, with 4 minutes to go on the clock. A cool down and push again might be on the question here, so this could be it. Brad Benedivez got the fastest first sector of anybody. Sector 2 belongs to Mario Boya as they come into the bus stop chicane. The setting sun reflecting off the front of the beautiful livery white, and it's a Boya on top from Solov now faster. Now Stenshaw faster. Brad Benedives faster. They're all moving up. Noli on 5th. Slater 6th. Marian Gelly in 14th. And Roman Belinsky does go 2nd. Wow! Ugachewa into 3rd. But look at Kamara, Omi. Middle sector is up. And the championship leaders, Nolion gets a lap time deleted. Could be on pole.
He could be on pole. Brad Benavides, who's been a contender here in Formula 3 before, finds himself at the top at the moment. Can Kamara spoil it?
No, he can't! Callum Voss in 3rd, Belinsky 4th, all rode in row 2, but it is currently Brad Benedives on pole with Kamara a 10th back. Well, I think that might be it, Omi, as well. That's a surprise and a half.
That is Formula 3 qualifying at its absolute finest. Kamara looked like the driver with momentum, and now he's just getting beaten by Brad Benavides in the AIX. Slater as it stands is 12.
Oh, traffic!
And this is the mess that we're talking about. Some drivers want more runs, and we're nearly going to get to contact at some point, surely.
Oh, I don't like this. Get out of the way. There's going to be a lot of impeding going on right now. Some want more runs, some are done, and they're blocking the track 2 by 2. It's like a jam on the M40. Oh, they're 3 wide, Omi. Oh, this is a mess now. Look, we've got cars blocking my boya. Oh, they've got a red flag this. This is getting silly now. Drivers are deliberately slowing down. We've got 3 wides mid-pack. And this is going to be an almighty shunt.
No.
What are you doing? What are you doing? They are weaving to block the cars from overtaking. They are deliberately impeding the field right now.
This is worse than even Monza levels that we were discussing earlier on. How are they all just still keeping this pointing in the right direction? They're all just going for it, 3 wide into every corner.
Yeah, but they're not working it out because none of them are going to get lap times. If you all do this, none of you are going to get lap times because you're all going to be in a race. This is ridiculous. Race control need to step in and stop this because we're going to have a major accident here. Kamara's been given our track limits, lap time deletion. It's like a safety car restart. We're racing for the end of a qualifying lap here. Kamara is 23rd. He doesn't have a lap time. He needs to get ahead of this lot. But do you back off and wait? We've now got 3 wide coming into Blanchimont, and they are all just backing off. This is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. We're going to have a huge accident now. Several drivers trying to go through. They don't want to go first on track position. This is a race going on. But Ugo Guchuru's hit the front, and he might be able to take pole position here as he comes out the last corner. We've now got drivers slowing on the racing line. This is unbelievable. Ugo Guchuru crosses the line. Coming across next as well. Oh, man, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
We'll be starting qualifying laps 3 wide, heading into Les Tours. This is going to get wild stuff. Let's hear from Kamara.
Alpha, speed up please. We need to have another push lap. They delayed your previous lap.
What?
10 at the report track limits. I will go personally to investigate.
Right, so
Kamara's angry. We're angry. The checkered flag is out. We've got a race going on right now. Ugo Guchuru is at the front of the field. Behind... I can't see who it is. One of the Premers, Omi. Is that Noel Leon? Yes, it is. Where is it? Who hasn't got a lap time either, so he had to get on with it.
Hold on. Kamara reinstated. That's back. That's critical. He's up to 2nd again.
Right, okay. So Kamara has had his lap time reinstated by the stewards. That puts him 2nd fastest. The flag comes out, so he doesn't need to push.
He's okay. He's okay, but he'll still believe right now that he needs to. He'll get told on the radio ASAP, but for the moment he would have still believed and has been overtaken. Let's have him come on now.
The time is back. The time is back. Keep going. The time is back. Keep going and stay focused.
Yeah, but they've told him that on a qualifying lap, Omi, and that's not, you're not supposed to talk then. The driver needs to be laser focused. TFL now comes across the line, take the checker flag. He's 22nd at the moment, using all the track limits. He stays 22nd. Look at Santiago Ramos. He jumps up into 2nd position. Dominguez across the line. He goes to 22nd, pushes down his own teammate. Zacazita goes into 26th position. He goes into moving up as well. Unbelievable stuff right now, but the midfield are still battling it out.
Yeah, some drivers who are normal decided to go and take the normal approach around the circuit, and they found improvements. But if you are any driver behind Ugo Guchuru, you are stuck in a Formula 3 car park as we make our way through, and that was absolutely wild stuff. That was ludicrous. I'm so surprised that we didn't have cars sideways there with how they were acting on those out laps as well. As here we go, let's get them all across the line then.
I bet you Noel Leon's improved, but nobody else will. I'm not expecting, and they're all across the line now. No one's improving up the timing tower at all. It was another cheat manipulation game of no, if I can't set a lap time, nobody else will. And if the stewards don't get the hold of that, we're in for a bad time. As Ramos has had his lap time deleted.
Slater up to 12.
And reverse grid pole goes to Slater for the sprint race tomorrow. Wow, okay. Worth getting up for. What on earth was all that about? We had to wait for it over. That was ridiculous.
Well, Slater, reverse grid pole again. He's another contender once again in the sprint. Here we go then. So exactly what we saw earlier on in the year. That's wild. That's ridiculous. I can't believe what we've just seen. So Benavides, Kamara, Voisin, Belinsky and Stench on top 5. That's just, it's been that type of day. We've had now an AIX take pole position. We've got Freddie Slater, who has given himself a reverse grid pole in only his second round of Formula 3, and you've got AIX absolutely celebrating down there, and that's just Formula 3 qualifying. That's just how it usually goes, and it got to another level as they go past the Formula 2 cars.
Mad weekend as well, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next as well. Right, let's check in with the world feed before we get our final thoughts.
When he last raced with us in Formula 3 here, and now he's taken his first pole.
Whoa! P1! P1! Yeah, see, that's you are on farming now, mate. Everybody in the team, Keddy, all of that. Thank you guys. God bless.
What an effort for Brad Benavides and for the AIX team. That is a hugely impressive effort from them to come here and take pole position ahead of championship leader Rafa Kamara, and a massive step forward for that team to now go and take their first pole position. We've seen them on the top step before in sprint races, we've seen them on the front row, but now we're going to see them lead us away on Grand Prix Sunday, and that is a massive step forward for them. Kamara second, Voisin.
Yep, and now we're going to hand over to Omi to run us through everybody's favourite of the results.
Yeah, the race results as well from Formula 3 qualifying at Spa, and of course it sets the grid for both the sprint and the feature over us, the top 12. When it comes to our sprint contest, it was Brad Benavides who ended as our pole sitter, Kamara ended in second, then it was Voisin in third, Belinsky in fourth, Stenchorn in fifth, and then Ugo Gonchuku was in sixth, Solov ended in 7th, then it was into Pruvzak, Charlie Wirtz, and Bruno Del Pido completing our top 10. It's Noah Stromstead who will start alongside Freddie Slater on sprint race day tomorrow. It's Tim Traminitz in 13th, and then it's Badura in 14th, then it's Lecourte, Boyer, G, Giusti, Van Hoopen, Wharton, Dominguez completing our top 20, and then it is going to be Ho 21st, and then we have Niall, and then Louis Schott, Santiago Ramos ahead of Zagazeta, who ended in 26th, then it was Leon in 27th, Headley 28th, Tuka Tappen in 29th, and Marin Angeli completes the order in 30th position after just one of those wild Formula 3 qualifying sessions, but Brad Benavides for AIX on pole.
What an absolutely brilliant session in terms of how crazy this could be. Omi, thoughts of the sprint race tomorrow? When Samson joins, this is going to be like, what on earth's going to happen next?
Yeah, it's going to be wild. And a great qualifying, I guess, it is fair to say. It was quite chaotic and we had to wait for it, but it delivered. And now all eyes to the racing, whether it's dry or wet. Let's hope we do get the racing going, and let's hope it is all amazing and action-packed from lights out to checkered flag.
Cheers, Omi. Cheers, JT behind the scenes as well. What a session, what an atmosphere, what a day. Thanks for your company. Next up, NASCAR. With a delay at the moment with the lightning. We will go over to that next, and we've got IndyCar later on tonight as well. Join us for that. It was all here. Take care. Bye-bye.